I'm standing or sitting on the other side of Devil's Gate Dam, just past Hahumong Watershed Park. The dam's right behind me here. And it's sort of a massive built environment. So you can see the roadways here. And if I look off into the distance in the background, you can certainly hear and see the cars going by up here on the 210. So sitting in this crazy built environment, however, you can look down and see that right down in here, underneath the roadways and freeways, right after the dam, between these developments, right down from housing developments, is an experiment that nature's running. Evolution and ecology are modifying a community to exist right here in this weird space. Kind of an under the freeway between the houses in a watercourse area. And that's kind of how I picked the field sites for this term. I wanted to narrow down the focus of an urban ecology project. In the past, we've done them all over the city, where we would explore things like residential neighborhoods of different types and commercial spaces and all kinds of things, but it turned out to be too complex a system to make any good comparisons. Here, in this semester, we're going to do a comparison that's very focused. First of all, it's focused on the watershed, which is a real ecological unit. The watershed being the streams and tributaries that drain a particular geography. And so we're focused on that in the Arroyo Seco. Then we're focused on sort of the center of that being the riparian habitat, right, that follows that stream course. So that's sort of this community down here. So we're focused on starting there, and then we'll do a little bit of ecological study of the sort of upland woodland and then the sage scrub above that, just to get an idea, but still focusing on the waterway, on the riparian habitat. Part of the reason for that has to do with the complex ecology of that region. You have three distinct communities that you might find there, and then part of that is because of the importance of the watershed and the ecosystem services that these systems provide for us, both in water supply, in storm, buffering storm surges, all kinds of different things that these systems provide for people. And then that interfaces, of course, with our dramatic engineering projects all over, modifying these environments in very strange ways, trying to control them and use them better to serve our needs. I'm not sure that worked, but anyways, in the Arroyo Seco in particular, so right down in here, has all kinds of interesting new controversies related to water supply and conservation issues. You may be familiar with Pasadena's recent issues with water supply, with dwindling sources from places like the Colorado River, like the San Joaquin Delta, places we used to get a lot of water from. Those are dwindling now, and we have to think about developing our own water systems. And as you may be aware, those are also dwindling. The basin that Pasadena pumps its water out of has been drying up over the years. Now, it could be recharged, and the ideas about how to recharge that basin using rainwater and things have been thought about. And so there's a lot of controversy right now about water use and conservation. And then there's the idea of restoring some of these stream beds and to natural riparian habitats, to places that might function like they used to prior to the 1930s, when there used to be salmon or steelhead that would run in these rivers all the way up from the ocean and breed in our mountains and then go back out to sea. And so the salmon have a potential for running along here. Now they found recently rainbow trout in the upper part of the Arroyo Seco, and so the question is it possible to restore this river so that that population of rainbow trout might eventually become steelhead again, that is, and run all the way to the sea. And what would it take to do that? What sort of restoration projects would have to be put in place to make that really happen? And is that something that we would value as a civilization? And should we value as a civilization? And then there are other interesting questions about human use and modifications. Things like, does this dam belong here? How do we maintain such an interesting dam? Because steelhead trout are not the only things that used to flow down this river. All the sediment from the mountains as they erode comes down this river as sand and gravel and rocks, alluvium. And they would go out to sea and they would feed our beaches, for example. All the beaches in Southern California had their origin in our mountains, and they're supplied by the rivers, but they've all been blocked. And they get blocked behind these dams, and then we have to have big contracts to haul the material out of here. And currently, that's a big controversy. For right behind this dam, there's a whole bunch of trucks right now and big tractors that are loading the sediment that this river would have naturally carried to the beach and hauling it off using diesel trucks. So anyways, lots of controversy. So this makes a rich and interesting place to look at the interface between humans and the sort of anthropogenic things and nature and how they interact. So for studying urban ecology, this is a great place to focus. So I hope you enjoy it.